If you missed the previous parts, you'll find them down in the description. Alright, let's jump right in. The second Yoon-soo walks in, he looks at both of them and goes, "Well, this is a surprise. You two are here together? It's been a long time since we've had guests in this house." And Chae herself showed up too. At that moment, Chae starts thinking Kyoram tricked her into coming here. Yoon-soo looks at her and says, "Why do you look so tense? You look like a cat that just got caught stealing fish." He gently takes the cup out of her hands and smiles. "Since you're already here, I'll go make you something to eat myself." Poor Chae has no idea what he's doing anymore. She just stares at him, completely confused. It's getting late. I should really get going. Inside, she's thinking, God, I seriously hate you, Yoon-soo. But Yoon-soo's expression changes instantly. You're eating. Whether you like it or not, you're eating. Kyoram finally speaks up. I think she should just leave today. But Yoon-soo cuts him off. I said Chae isn't leaving until she's eaten. Kyoram freezes. What scares him the most is that Yoon-soo never even asked why Chae was here or what happened upstairs. Instead, Yoon-soo casually smiles at Chae. "So, what do you think of the house? I finally got everything exactly the way I wanted. It's a shame I never had anyone to show it to. The only person who ever saw it, I never got the chance to ask what they thought." Then he suddenly asks, "So, how's your sister doing?" And Chae quietly answers, "She's doing fine." Yoon-soo walks over to the refrigerator, then looks at Kyoram. "Do we still have any meat?" The second Chae hears that, her heart almost stops. What kind of meat is he talking about? Kyoram tells him there's still some left, so Yoon-soo cooks it, places it right in front of Chae, and smiles. "Go ahead, enjoy." Chae looks at him. "You're not eating with me? I'm already full. I've been eating just fine, thanks to everything you've been bringing me." Hearing that, Chae gets even more terrified. Then Yoon-soo hands her a glass of juice. "Try this. If you like it, I'll send some to your house." Chae is too scared to drink it. What if it's blood? But Yoon-soo quietly says, "If you drink it, I'll let you leave peacefully. Finish every last drop." So, she slowly drinks it. And to her surprise, it's just normal juice. Chae gets annoyed, storms out of the house, while Yoon-soo just sits there laughing. He was only messing with her, trying to scare her the whole time. After she leaves, Kyoram looks at him. "Why'd you come back so early?" "I got bored." Then Yoon-soo suddenly looks at him. "Oh, and one more thing. What were you two doing in my library? Didn't I tell you never to go in there? And why did you bring Chae here?" Kyoram finally looks him straight in the eyes. "You killed my father, didn't you? You killed him with that broken glass, didn't you?" Yoon-soo acts completely confused. "What are you talking about? Have you lost your mind?" But Kyoram keeps talking. "I remember everything now. Before, all I had were blurry memories. I kept telling myself they weren't real. But the moment I saw that broken glass, everything came back. I remembered it all. I saw you. I saw you kill my father, and you were smiling." Yoon-soo's face changes. "You actually saw what happened that day?" Kyoram breaks down. "I saw everything. So answer me. Did you kill him or not? Please, give me some excuse. Tell me it isn't true." Yoon-soo lowers his eyes. "I can't, because everything you said is true. I really did kill him." Kyoram walks away, completely shattered. He can't believe Yoon-soo knew all this time and still lived beside him for 30 years without ever Senwile. Yoon-soo realizes something. He always thought Kyoram was just an innocent child, but he was wrong. Then he remembers the day Sun died, and that's when we learned something shocking. Sun was actually the one who asked Yoon-soo to kill him. Yoon-soo wasn't the villain Kyoram believed he was. Outside, Kyoram breaks down in tears. He admits, deep down, he'd always known. He just kept lying to himself. But now that the truth is finally out, he can't accept that Yoon-soo deceived him for 30 long years. Even with all those mixed emotions and the image of Yoon-soo smiling after killing his father burned into his mind, he never knew what to do because Yoon-soo was the only family he had left. He thought the only choice was to stay quiet, pretend nothing had happened, keep living beside him, and hide the fact that he remembered everything. But then, another thought hits him. What if Yoon-soo killed my mother too? If that's true, there's no way I can keep pretending anymore. After today, we can't keep living under the same roof. Meanwhile, the researcher spots Kyoram walking out of Yoon-soo's house. Something about him feels strangely familiar. Then, all of a sudden, Kyoram disappears! The researcher freezes. Wait, could that kid actually be one of them? A vampire. And if that's true, then this house has to be their hideout. Then he remembers. Chae had walked out of that same house just a little earlier. Don't tell me. Is she one of them too? Later, the researcher meets with someone and asks, "So, did you find anything?" The man shakes his head. "I searched everywhere for Yoon-soo, where he lives, his background, anything, but there's nothing. Not a single trace." The researcher cuts him off. "Forget Yoon-soo. Look into someone named Han Chae instead." The man explains, "She was an orphan. She grew up with her grandmother and her older sister." But the researcher interrupts him. "I don't need her life story. I want to know if she has a criminal record or anything suspicious." The man nods. "Actually, 6 years ago, she was charged with attempted murder. A witness saw her stabbing her ex-boyfriend with a knife, and she ended up serving serving 5 years in prison. But here's the weird part. Just 1 year after getting out, she somehow became a taxi driver. Normally, someone with a record like that shouldn't be allowed to have that job. Hearing that, the researcher starts suspecting Che even more. Could she really be just like Yoon-soo? And his mind begins connecting possibilities. After everything that happened, Che can't stop thinking about it. She still can't believe Yoon-soo actually let her walk away that easily. But for the first time in a while, she thinks she can finally breathe. The second she opens her front door, she freezes. Kyorum is already inside, waiting for her. Finally, you're home! Then Kyorum asks if he can stay with her for a while. He tells her he got into a fight with Yoon-soo, and while he's there, she can ask him anything she wants about Yoon-soo. He'll answer every question. Che immediately assumes they argued because of what happened when she came to Yoon-soo's house, so she lets him stay. She still thinks he's just a kid, when in reality, he's over 30 years old. Later, she starts asking him the most random questions imaginable. How tall is Yoon-soo? How much does he weigh? Kyorum sighs. Want me to tell you how many moles he has on his body too? And Che actually goes, yeah, now I'm kinda curious. He looks at her. Are you stupid or what? Stop asking such ridiculous questions. Then, Che finally asks what's really been bothering her. Why is Yoon-soo so obsessed with me? Why won't he leave me alone? Do you know? Or are you just as clueless as I am? Kyorum tells her it's because she's different. Everyone else always tried to run away from Yoon-soo. She didn't. Che lets out a bitter laugh. It's not like I ever had the chance to run. There's nowhere I could hide from someone like him. He never even gave me that chance. The next day, they go out to eat together. Che smiles and tells him, honestly, if you weren't around, I would have died of boredom this whole week. Then she asks, you're a vampire, so how have you survived on instant noodles for an entire week? Kyorum shrugs. I've just been getting by with regular noodles. At that exact moment, the researcher is secretly watching them. He's convinced Che is a vampire too, and seeing her with Kyorum only makes him believe it even more. He decides he's going to burn down Yoon-soo's house, the place he believes is their hideout. He wants revenge, because he thinks Che tricked him. Meanwhile, Kyorum quietly tells Che something she never expected. A vampire can actually die from starvation. Che immediately stares at him. Then how could Yoon-soo survive? He's banned from hunting for an entire month. Kyorum shakes his head. They've got a huge emergency supply, so he won't starve that easily. Meanwhile, the researcher heads straight to Yoon-soo's house. He's terrified, but he's determined to burn the place down. The front door slowly swings open on its own. After hesitating for a second, he walks inside. He starts pouring gasoline all over the house, getting everything ready. But just as he's about to light it, someone knocks him out from behind. It's Kyorum, and he drags him away. When the researcher finally wakes up, Kyorum has already hypnotized him. He wants answers. He wants to know exactly what the researcher saw the day his mother died. The researcher starts mumbling, Hansok, where are you? In his mind, he's looking straight at Kyorum, but he sees him as Hansok. I've been looking for you all this time. I even dreamed about you every single day. Kyorum asks him one question. Do you remember who killed my mother? The researcher frowns. I don't remember much. The only thing I remember is a pair of yellow eyes. Kyorum immediately asks, was it Yoon-soo? Yeah, it was Yoon-soo. But how do you even know Yoon-soo? Did you become one of them too? Are you planning to turn me into a vampire? Kyorum doesn't answer. He simply walks away, leaving the researcher trapped inside his hallucination. Even hearing the name Yoon-soo hurts him now, and what frustrates him even more is that he still doesn't know who really killed his mother. Meanwhile, the researcher completely loses himself. He starts seeing vampires everywhere. He's convinced they're all coming to kill him. He pulls out a knife and starts swinging it wildly at everyone around him. But here's the terrifying part. Those aren't vampires. He's actually inside Yoon-soo's underground storage, where all of Yoon-soo's human victims are being kept. And in his hallucination, he starts stabbing every single one of them. Then, the fire finally spreads. The house catches fire. The researcher escapes, leaving nothing but flames behind. At that exact moment, Yoon-soo finally wakes up. He's been asleep for an entire week, and now he's starving. Immediately, he notices something's wrong. The smell of blood, the smoke. Neither of them should be there. He assumes Kyorum must have gone downstairs, maybe to grab some food, but the moment he reaches the basement, he freezes. Every single body has been brutally stabbed. His entire food supply is gone. Then he rushes outside, only to find his house completely engulfed in flames. It couldn't have been Kyorum. He would never stab people like this, and he'd never burn the house down. Between the overwhelming stress and the unbearable hunger, Yoon-soo's legs finally give out. He collapses to the ground. Around the same time, the researcher jumps into Che's taxi. The second she sees him, she notices he's covered in blood. What happened to you? Why are you covered in blood? But he doesn't answer. Instead, because of the hallucinations, he sees Che's eyes turning bright yellow. Without warning, he pulls out a knife and lunges at her. Che desperately tries to stop him. The taxi swerves out of control, crashes, and the researcher is knocked unconscious. Che immediately drives to Yoon-soo's house. When she gets there, she finds him lying on the ground, weak, helpless, barely able to move. She can't believe she's seeing him like this. So, life's really beating you up, huh? Need some help there? Yoon-soo actually smiles. Honestly? Yeah, I really do. Without thinking twice, Chae steps right on his hand, finally getting a little revenge. But Yoon-soo just smiles even wider. You look really happy seeing me like this, but I don't think I'm the only one with problems. You're in just as much trouble as I am. He's talking about the researcher, who's now hunting Chae down. Then Yoon-soo makes her an offer. How about we help each other? And after that, we both walk away. If you help me, I'll leave you alone. You'll be free, and your little problem will disappear too. Chae immediately snaps back. You could have left me alone whenever you wanted. Instead, you've been trying to kill me. I want your word. You'll never kill me, and you'll never come after me again. Yoon-soo smiles. Smart. You have my word. I'll never come after you again. So Chae brings the unconscious researcher over to him, but Yoon-soo isn't satisfied. I need one more favor. I need to smell fresh blood. Help me, just a little more. Chae slowly picks up the knife and cuts the researcher. The instant fresh blood fills the air, Yoon-soo's eyes snap open. His strength comes flooding back. He walks right past Chae and immediately attacks the researcher. As promised, I'll keep my word. On one condition. Chae freezes. One condition? That wasn't part of the deal. Stay away from me. Yoon-soo looks straight at her. You already know what I am, so I have to keep an eye on you. My condition is simple. You'll come to church every single day. That way, I'll know you're keeping quiet, and I'll keep my promise. I won't touch you. I won't hurt you. After thinking it over, Chae agrees, but only if he deletes every photo and disappears from her life forever. She doesn't want to talk about him, think about him, or ever see him again. She wants to erase him from her memory completely. Before leaving, she slaps him across the face, a slap he definitely earned. Then she walks away, leaving him standing in the middle of the wreckage. She gets back into her taxi. For the first time in what feels like forever, she's finally free. And as she drives away, she can't stop herself from crying. Not out of fear this time, but out of pure relief. Later on, we see Chae happily sipping on a can of cola. With the biggest smile on her face, she says, "Finally, my freedom's back, and nobody's ever gonna bother me again." Or so she thought. Because out of nowhere, Gyeorum sits right next to her. She looks at him and asks, "So, what now? Are you planning to stick with me forever? You're seriously never going back to Yoon-soo?" Gyeorum shakes his head. "My relationship with Yoon-soo is over." Then he casually adds, "And don't forget, I paid to get your taxi fixed." Chae immediately rolls her eyes. "Oh, please. Those weren't even your money. They were Yoon-soo's." Gyeorum shrugs. "Fine, then I'll stay with you until you've paid me back." By this point, Chae is completely drunk. She squints at him and suddenly asks, "Wait, you're Yoon-soo's son, aren't you?" Gyeorum almost chokes. "What? Whose son? What are you even talking about?" Chae starts laughing. "Oh, right. I forgot you two hate each other. But honestly, you guys look so much alike." Then she suddenly remembers something. "Oh, I totally forgot to tell you. I actually beat Yoon-soo. I even slapped him. You should have seen his face. It was priceless." That's what happens when you mess with Han Chae, vampire or not. Gyeorum just stares at her. "You slapped him? You actually stood up to Yoon-soo and won?" Chae proudly nods. "I feel amazing." But later, she's standing outside the church, and suddenly, that confidence is completely gone. "I'm definitely not okay. What if I run into Yoon-soo? I really don't want to go in." So instead, she waits outside until the service is over. When Yoon-soo finally walks out, his expression is cold, sharp. He walks right past her, without even looking her way, and somehow, that scares her even more. At that moment, she wishes she'd never come. Just then, the older woman from church walks over. "Chae, there you are. I've been waiting for you." She checks on her after everything that happened at the cafe. Then she suddenly asks, "Remind me, how old are you again?" "I'm 28. The woman smiles. "So, are you seeing anyone these days? Or is there something going on between you and Yoon-soo?" Chae immediately shakes her head. "No, absolutely not. Never." The woman looks relieved. "Perfect. Then I want to introduce you to a friend's son. I'm telling you, you two would look adorable together." Chae quickly tries to refuse, but the woman has already called him over. His name is Hyun. Chae sighs, already feeling bored and trapped, but the moment she sees him, she freezes. And Hyun freezes too. "Han Chae? Is that really you?" "So, who do you think Hyun really is? And what do you think Yoon-soo's reaction is going to be when he sees Chae with another guy? By the way, I noticed this manhwa hasn't been getting the same love as the previous series, so if you want me to keep going, drop a heart in the comments, or just type continue. That'll let me know you want to see how this story ends. Love you guys. Bye!